Hey there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. Today I'm going to be making with you a quick and easy dinner recipe that's going to come together in a matter of minutes. This recipe comes straight out of my Plant-Based Made Easy Cookbook, issue number 9. And this is chili spiced tempeh tacos. If you've never had tempeh before, today I'm going to talk to you about tempeh, the amazing plant-based protein that is full of probiotics. So let's get right into it. First things first, I'm going to prep my tempeh. I'm going to take it out of the container, and now I'm going to show you the overhead cam so that you can just see the brand that I use, which is Trader Joe's, and I really like it. It's really yummy. It actually is a little probiotic log, basically a fermented log of tofu, soybeans, brown rice, lots of other grains. You can find it with a lot of different combination of different grains and tofu, and it's really, really great. I really enjoy the tempeh because it's made from soybeans. And so it's very kind of thick and delicious. It tastes like it's very meaty is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to leave this here just in case you want to continue to look at what the package is. That is what I use. Now, I'm going to start with prepping my tempeh, and then we're going to make all the other ingredients for the tacos, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a box grater, just a standard box grater, and I'm going to grate the tempeh. Now I'm going to actually do this over a bowl. Now this bowl has a couple tablespoons of water, and I'm going to grate the tempeh into the water, and then I'm going to add some other spice mixture seasonings to it to make a spice mixture. It's going to be really good. Now I'm doing this to kind of soak the tempeh and to take it from kind of a solid dry state to a very moist, meaty, delicious state. All right. So the box grater is going to really help with this, because it's going to make it seem like ground beef or ground pork or turkey, you know, that like small, chunky, meaty consistency. Now I'm going to continue to do this right over my water, and this is just going to save me a step, right? You can do this in a food processor as well, but I really like just using the box grater because it's easy and you can go right into your bowl. And now this recipe is really cool because you can actually use any spice mixture that you want, any spices that you want to create a really nice spice blend. I really like to mix it up depending on what I have on hand in my spice drawer. Today I'm going to use really classic seasonings like cumin and garlic and onion and chili powder, but you can, if you want it super spicy, you can use cayenne pepper. You can use ancho chili powder. You can use chipotle chili powder. It doesn't matter. You can really make it your own. You can even add Mexican oregano, like dried oregano. You could add other herbs like Italian seasoning. So the choice is yours. I'm going to do this whole thing. Now you'll see that the tempeh actually has sometimes these brown, blackish speckles. People often get really worried about those. Don't worry. It's totally natural. So you can still enjoy the tempeh. Sometimes it's going to have those brown, black speckles, and sometimes it's just going to be like really kind of blondish, light brown. Both colors are totally natural and totally okay. It's really the fermentation. So what is tempeh? Tempeh is fermented a soybean brick in a nutshell. That's really what it is. So it is a fermented food, meaning it is a block of soybeans that are pressed together and then left out to ferment. And when you leave something out, like that's how you make cheese and yogurt, what it does is it attracts all the bacteria in the air and it ferments the protein within. So here we're using soybeans. That's the base of tempeh. You can also find soy-free tempeh that actually just uses grains and things like that, millet. So there's a lot of cool tempehs on the market. So find the one that you like and then just stick to it. I really like this Trader Joe's. It is a tempeh, grain tempeh. So it has the soybeans as well as the brown rice. And it's really yummy. All right, I'm going to clear my decks. Let me just clean this up a little bit. I don't want to waste any of this tempeh. So this is going to go right into my bowl. Okay, so now let's add the seasoning. Super duper simple. I'm going to add to this a little bit of onion salt here. You can use onion powder too. I just didn't have any. So whatever you have. A little bit of garlic powder. And I prefer the spices over the minced raw garlic, right? Because the spices are going to have a ton of flavor. I'm gonna use a little ground coriander. Again, I'm gonna use ground coriander over using coriander leaves like cilantro, right? I don't want the fresh. I want actually the dried for this. I'm gonna use a little cumin as well, just showing you as I'm talking. And then a little bit of chili powder. This is the chili seasoning blend from Trader Joe's, but you can use anything that you want. Perfect. Yummy. All right, I'm gonna grab a spoon and then mix this up. And that 4 tablespoons of water on the bowl, it's really important. Don't forget that. That's really gonna moisten up the tempeh. Without it, tempeh seems to be pretty dry, which I kind of like because it kind of gets really crispy when you fry it up, when you cook it up, but I like the water. I like adding the water too because it makes it really moist and delicious, and it actually makes it taste more like meat, I think. But I don't want my food to taste like meat. I want my food to taste like, I want my tempeh to taste like tempeh. So it's going to taste more delicious. Let's say that. All right, I'm going to throw in all the rest. I really don't want to waste any of this, you guys. It is such a superfood. So there you go. And I don't like wasting because that's just my MO in the kitchen. All right, next, let's get into it. Let's actually make some tortillas. Now, I didn't get time to go to the market to buy tortillas, so I'm going to make fresh. Here's how you do it. Really simple. I have a tortilla press. You can buy this at Target. You can find this on my Amazon storefront, you guys. I'll put the link after the show so you can have it. And then I made some masa. All right. So this is corn masa. This is how tortillas are made. While I'm yapping, I'm actually going to get my skillet or nonstick pan on a high heat. All right. So I need this to start working and get ready for the tortilla balls that we're going to add to the press, and then the tortillas that we'll add right to here. So here's Masa Harina. Here's what you need if you want to make tortillas. This is golden corn flour. It is wonderful. It is like a really, really important staple in the Mexican kitchen. Hey, how do you like my shirt? I'm wearing this gorgeous Frito Kahlo shirt, which I love. We can endure much more than we think we can. That's just your daily reminder. All right, so you need Masa Harina if you're going to make tortillas. Of course, you can go and buy these at the store. But I said I didn't have time to get over to the grocery store, and I pride myself on being able to use all the ingredients that I have on hand, and I had some masa. So here we go, fresh tortillas. Here we go. So I make a little ball, put it down. Now I'm going to cover my tortilla press with these. These are my baking liners. You guys have heard me talk about these before. Usually I put these on my cookie sheets or baking trays. Well, guess what? Because they're cut your own size, I cut 2 squares and I use it for my tortilla press, and it's perfect. All right, so I'm going to just take my little ball here of corn masa, and I'm going to press it down. I'm going to say a little prayer. Open it up. Now, these liners are going to make these totally not stick at all. And ta-da, we have a beautiful raw tortilla. This is the trick, getting it off. Start with the thick side. Kind of roll it with your thumb. I recommend corn tortillas for these tempeh tacos because they're oh so delicious. Of course, you could use flour, but I like the corn. It adds more flavor and gluten-free, naturally. Oh, man. I think I may have rolled it too thin. All right, so sometimes it doesn't work out, so you have to start it over. So grab a little bit more. I think I needed a bigger, thicker tortilla. Let's try it again, right? See, it's not always perfect. People are always saying, oh, you make things look so easy. I could never do that. Well, actually, I just cook a lot more. So I have a lot more errors than most people. You're just not seeing a lot of them, but you just saw one. So I'm going to start over. I made the ball a little bit bigger. I'm going to press this. All right. And I'm not going to press it as thin. Let's see. Ooh, this looks good. Now we can grab it. Perfect. So yeah, just make it a little thicker, and there you go. This is going to go right down in my skillet. I don't need to oil it or anything. It's just going to be perfect as is. I think I'll make 3, and then we'll move right along, all right? I really like fresh tortillas because they're so delicious. Like nothing beats a fresh tortilla compared to, nothing beats a fresh tortilla. What am I trying to say? I love getting fresh tortillas at, like when you eat out, especially fresh corn tortillas. So yummy. But the ones that you can buy pre-prepared in the grocery store, they're good, but they're dry usually. They don't have a lot of flavor. Nothing's going to beat this. All right, do one more. Simple. Yes, you can use the Masa Harina to make tamales too. So this right here, this mixture is ready for tamales. This is what I did for Christmas Eve this year with my family. You just kind of roll it into a kind of a bigger mound, and then you stuff it with vegan cheese, shredded jackfruit, green chilies. We did a couple different flavors this year. It was really, really yummy. But same ingredient, Masa Harina. Yeah, you did it. Perfect. Great. All right, so now I'm going to need to give this a little time here. I'm going to cover the rest of the masa with a wet paper towel just so it kind of stays damp. And then you can continue to use this Masa Harina until you have all of your tortillas rolled out. It's really that simple. Let me just wipe my hands here. And I'll get a spatula and I'm going to try to peel these up so you can see. This one's looking good. And basically you're going to get these little brown specks just like you would if you bought them store-bought. There we go. You can see one. You can see the other. Okay, I'm going to do an overhead full so you can really see. There we go. All right, so I'm going to let those continue to cook up. I just want them a little bit golden brown and delicious kind of throughout. This I'm going to put aside. And now let's prep the other ingredients, all right? So for our tempeh tacos, we need a yellow onion and we need a bell pepper, all right? All of the produce comes from Melissa's Produce, so thank you, Melissa's. And I'm just going to pull off the top and the bottom of my onion to really get all of the skin off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make little moons, thin little moons here. And then I'll make some caramelized onions, and that's going to be the base of these tacos. So to do that, here we go, just flip it around. And then with a really sharp chef's knife, go for it. Perfect. And then what I'll do is cut it in half, all right, so that we have small pieces. I want my onions to kind of melt away with my red pepper and the tempeh, and everything is going to work really well together. So that's the onion there. Simple, right? Now the red bell pepper, I'm just going to slice around the seeds. This is what you do at home. This part you can actually replant. You can literally put this in a pot. That's it, of soil. And you are going to get yourself many, many more bell peppers. But for now, I'm going to put it in my compost because I don't need another, Lord knows, I don't need another veggie or fruit plant or tree in my backyard. Constantly experimenting with what I'm putting in soil. It's fun. I love it. And a little bit of the ribs and seeds are totally fine. But just know that the more ribs and seeds you use of the bell pepper, the hotter it's going to be. So don't think that you're messing with just something super mild here, because the bell pepper still has a little bit of heat. It really does have just a little bit of heat. All right, so these look great. So I have my tortillas are done. Perfect on both sides. This one needs a few more minutes. I'm going to let that go. And what I'm going to do is take a paper towel. And I didn't bring my tortilla warmer, but I'm going to make one, a makeshift tortilla warmer right now. All right, so here's how we're going to do it. Take a little bowl. Obviously, your tortilla needs to fit. And you can actually put these, wrap them in a paper towel. So I'm just going to grab a paper towel, place it down, and then place your tortillas in the paper towel. The paper towel is going to kind of keep it nice and moist. This last one needs a few seconds. Okay, perfect. Now look, great, gorgeous. This looks so yummy. And they're street taco size, and they're scrumptious. They're perfect. Now I'm going to take a little plate and pop this right on top. This is going to stay nice and hot, all right? So actually, I think I'll use the same pan. Why not? All right. Now, you know what? I need a larger surface area. So I'm going to grab some oil. Now, if you're whole food plant-based, you can just do this without oil. You can use water, but I'm going to use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Sorry, avocado oil today. That's this here. It's that light oil. And I'm just going to add a little bit to my pan. There we go. And then right away, this is nice and hot already because that induction was on. I'm going to add my onions. I'm also going to add my bell pepper. Don't delay. Just throw it all in. And I really want this to cook down as quickly as possible. So I'm going to have it on a high heat pretty much the whole time. And one of the ways it's going to cook quickly is if you have to kind of go in and make sure the pieces are not sticking together, that they're nice and individual. And every bit is going to touch the hot pan. And that's what's going to make this cook quickly. And every once in a while, we'll shake the pan. And because we've added a little something to our pan, we always talk about we have to season as we go. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. A little sea salt. Cool. This looks so good and it smells so good. It's amazing how delicious onions and peppers can smell right away. Yummy. Okay, if you wanted to, now you could season this up with some of the same spices that we added to the tempeh. So I'm going to add a couple. The garlic powder is going to be really great in here. Also going to add some cumin. Now, cumin's a warming spice, so it's really nice and delicious, meaning it's going to add like a nice round, full body flavor to your dish, which is going to be really great. And I'm going to add a little chili powder because this is going to give it heat, but also a dimension of flavor because this has in it chili powder, cumin, garlic, and oregano. Sometimes it has anchovy chili powder in it as well. Sometimes it has cayenne pepper. So you want to read your label. A lot of the chili spice blend mixtures are going to have lots of different combinations of things. So just find one you like. I really like, kind of the Trader Joe's standard chili powder. It's great for everything from, proteins to putting it on the proteins on the grill. It's great for potatoes. It's even good for tofu. It really is good for, obviously, tacos and burritos and things like that. But beyond the Latin Mexican flavors, it is really versatile and easy to use for a lot of things. Yum. This looks so good already. All right. So at this point, we really just want to make sure that the onions are nice and cooked. I'm going to continue to let that do its thing. I'm going to get my garnishes ready. All right. So I'm going to use some beautiful purple cabbage. I love purple cabbage. This purple cabbage, especially of the cabbage family, this is a cruciferous vegetable, but the purple is the most nutrient dense. It's going to have a lot of nutrients. And the way that we know that is because it's purple. Look how gorgeous it is. That's nature's way of telling us, eat me, I'm healthy. And what I do is when I get a big purple cabbage in my refrigerator, I have to chop it up. And so I chop it in really thick slices like this, and then put it in a sustainable stasher bag. And I just let it sit in my refrigerator. And then anytime I need a little cabbage as a garnish or whatever, or for egg roll in a bowl, or if I'm making sauerkraut, I actually have it on hand and I can just kind of mince it or dice it in smaller bits. I like to store it like that as opposed to storing it in the full kind of head because it encourages me to use it. Oftentimes, if I just leave cabbage in its like big giant cabbage head, it will just sit there. And I'm intimidated to cut open into it because it's like I haven't like broken the seal. But as soon as I get it, if I can pre-prep it and kind of just have it in large chunks ready to go, then I'm going to use it. I'm going to put some cabbage over my salads every night. And purple cabbage is really, really good for us. So it's just great to get added color and nutrients in our daily dishes. And we talked a lot about this on Monday when we talked about our meal prepping episode. And we actually talked about some of the things that you can do to meal prep to like make yourself feel successful throughout the week. This is one of those things. This is a great trick. All right, so my onions are looking really great. I need a little bit of water, so I'm just gonna add some now. I'm gonna grab some from the fridge and we'll do a split screen so you can see. I'll do a full screen so you can actually see. Here we go. I'm just gonna see, you can see the brown bits. I'm gonna deglaze it a little bit. Add a little bit of water. That's always gonna help this. It's also gonna clean the pan as you go. It's a win-win in my book. I love making it easy in the kitchen, but I also love keeping it clean. Are you with me on that? Who's with me on that? Right? It's like that's the ideal situation, clean and easy. And the third most ideal situation is healthy. And that's what we're doing here every day. I'm really enjoying this like 2 or 3 days a week of the Plant-Based Made Easy episodes. I think that's a frequency that's working for us. So I'm going to continue to do that. 2 or 3 days per week as opposed to 5 days. No one wants to hear me for 5 days. All right, look at these onions now. This looks so delicious. Unbelievably great. Now I'm gonna add my tempeh mixture right to this, yeah? I'm gonna show you in the overhead because I don't think I actually showed you. Look, it looks like ground meat already, right? Throw it right in. And I'm telling you, you will not be able to tell. I'm telling you, I promise you, you will not be able to tell that this is not meat. It is super duper meaty. I'm just gonna stop right here and show you right away. It looks like ground beef or turkey, does it not? It really does. And not that we wanna fool anyone, but definitely thinking if you are going to serve this to your family or friends. And we had somebody on our Testimony Tuesday show yesterday, Mr. Greg Scott. Greg Scott is a vegan health coach. And he said, I asked him, what do you do to really entice people in wanting to go plant-based or wanting to like learn about this? He said, I literally just prepare food for people when they come over. And I don't really tell them or emphasize that it's vegan. Sometimes people assume and sometimes people, don't really know my background, but every time people love the food. And that is true. That's exactly what this show is all about too. It's like, how do we entice people? We entice people by letting the food speak for itself. Truly. Yum, this looks so good. I'm gonna do a solo layout again so you can just really see what are we working with here. This looks fantastic. And I'm gonna make sure I have everything, and I think I do. I do. And this is really great. This is the recipe here, you guys. It's gonna tell you all the ingredients as well as the garnishes. And it's really gonna serve about 4 people and take less than 30 minutes. Oh, this is so good. So really, you can continue to cook this mixture until the tempeh gets nice and, warmed through. You can cook it even more than that if you wanted to. You could remove the bell pepper and the onion and then just cook the tempeh and make the tempeh crispy. Now that would make it more like chorizo if you wanted. But I like it when it's all mixed together like this because it's delicious. And now it's ready to go. This is so yummy. All right, so I'm gonna show you. Here's our mixture. Fantastic, right? Now, I think it's time to plate up. Let's do it. That did not take long. All right, I wanna serve this with avocado. I'm gonna serve this with the California Hass avocado, of course, because it's California avocado season. And the best avocados have California in them. That's the CA right in the middle of the word. And I opened one yesterday, so I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this. Perfect. And I need a big spoon. That's why I reached there. And I'm gonna grab a couple dices. There we go. That's what we need. Place that here. Towel handy. Okay. You ready to eat? I'm ready to eat. Let's do a split screen. Yeah. So I'm going to use the top of my tortilla warmer. Why not? That was a plate after all. Going to grab one of my tortillas. To this, I'm going to start with a little bit of the cabbage. This is going to be the base. It's also going to give you nice crunch, and it's going to be really delicious. with the chili spiced tempeh mixture with the onions and the bells. Oh, the bell peppers are just like screaming. They're looking really good. I'm glad that I used a red bell pepper because it's really going to pop. I would recommend using a red bell pepper or a green bell pepper so that it really does pop as opposed to an orange or a yellow, because that would just kind of mix right in. Oh my gosh, this looks so yummy. I'm also going to take a little avocado piece. I'm happy. This is so cute. Here you have it, a little chili spice tempeh taco, street taco style, you guys. So cute and so delicious. I am going to take a little bite, but before I do, I want to give this food a little gratitude. Thank you, food. Thank you, God. All right. Moment of truth. Come on. Yum. Nailed it. So good. You guys are going to love this. I'm telling you, you are going to be a tempeh lover after you try this recipe. Thanks for joining me today in the studio. I hope that you'll come back for more. I'll be back in the studio next week, you guys. And if you haven't done so already, please consider downloading my cookbooks. Today, we're working out of a recipe right out of Plant-Based Made Easy, issue number 9. You can buy this as a one-off individual cookbook, or you can buy all of the cookbooks and become a monthly cookbook subscriber. So I hope that you'll do that. Here are the last 4 cookbooks. I'm having a great time doing this for you guys, and I hope that you're loving the content. Let me know, what do you want to see? How are you enjoying the content? What are you thinking about the cookbooks? Do you love it? What are some of the best parts of it? Please get in touch with me. I really want to hear from you because I created this for you guys. So awesome to spend this week with you. I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend, was what I was going to say. Please come back to the studio next week because we're going to cook up some really delicious things next week, including some sweet treats because I haven't done that in a while. So I hope to see you there. All right, you guys, I'll see you next time. Peace out.